Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here coming to you live from Mesa, Arizona. I hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling, shake it up Saturday. We have had an awesome day today. So how did your day go? We're actually sitting here in the bedroom because it's so much cooler in here than it is out there. It's a little on the warm side. Zephy was laying there. Oh, she's up at the window again. Yes, it's another hot day here. And because it's the weekend, we can't get service people to come out and check the AC, so it's going to have to wait till Monday. But we have made the most of today. It has been, actually by 1 o'clock, we had achieved a lot for the day already. I got woken up before 6 o'clock this morning by Zephy wanting to go out. So got up, got dressed, took her outside, and we spent 30 minutes in the dog park with her running around and doing her thing. And then while I was out there, I got some really cool pictures, which I posted on my Facebook page earlier. One of the moon still high in the sky, full moon, beautiful blue skies behind it, palm trees. It was an amazing photograph. Then I turned around and took a picture of the sun as it was just coming over top of one of the houses here. And when I went back and looked at the picture later, I thought, hang on, there's a second bright shiny object there. And I couldn't figure out what it was. So I opened up my Sky Guide app and figured out it was Venus. So I've actually got the sun just coming over the roof, and if you look just above the sun, there's Venus is there. And it really does look like a smaller moon. It was just amazing. I had never seen, Brad was into astronomy and all of that, and we used to go out and look at the stars sometimes, and but I had never seen Venus so prominent. Is that the right word? I just had never seen Venus so clearly before, especially in the morning with the sun coming off it and looking so big as it did in that photograph. So go check out those photographs on my Facebook page. You'll see the one there of the moon full up in the sky. Hey, what are you doing with that? She's brought her Kong into the bedroom. You gonna say hi? She had fun with this outside. And so, yes, I'd never got such a great picture with the sun and Venus in it before. I mean, I didn't even realize I'd taken that photograph till I went back later. So it's amazing when you go back and look at photographs you've taken to see what you actually captured. And then we came back from the dog park. We had breakfast. We did our morning live. And then I said to Zephy, let's go sit outside for a while because it was still cool enough to be able to do that. And we probably sat outside for like a couple of hours. And I got some I have my creativity. Where is it? Have my journal here, which I've written on the front here. What have I got? Ideas, dreams, why not? And I write ideas and stuff, business ideas that I have, because that's my idea book. So I wrote some ideas and stuff into that. I also started reading. I've had this book for a while. It's traveled all over the country with me so far because I purchased it back in, I think, December. When did it come out? I can't remember I can't remember when the book came out, but I got it not long afterwards. But it's Carrie Underwood's Find Your Path. And this is about her it says here, honor your body, fuel your soul, and get strong with Fit 52 life. And I've had it, and it's, like I said, it's traveled all over the country with me so far. And I suddenly thought, I just feel like reading it because it's not just about how she keeps herself fit inside and out. It was also her story as well. And I remember Brad and I we've watched her career grow since she first auditioned for American Idol. And when we heard her at the audition, Brad and I looked at each other and said, she's going to win. And sure enough, she went through and won and became this mega star and country star and all that sort of stuff. And so I just wanted to get the background story because you hear little bits and pieces here and there. But this is one that she's written about herself and about how you use a pack of 52 cards to help you with your workout. I haven't got to that part yet. I've only read the first 3 chapters of the book today. But it's a really cool book, and it incorporates, and she's got these comfort foods that she grew up with and how she's switched out 1 or 2 ingredients and made it more healthy. And like one of them in there is her mum's biscuit and chocolate gravy, and I was like, chocolate gravy? I'm in. And it just sounds amazing. And even just the regular recipe sounded good. But, she said she's such a busy mom and she doesn't have time to be complicated recipes and everything. She's just keeping things simple, real simple. And so the recipes, she's got recipes throughout the book. She's got workout hints and tips throughout the book. She's got journaling things throughout the book as well. and things on how to make your life simple, and you can still accomplish great things. So that was kind of really cool to actually start reading that. What else have we done today? Oh, and I can't forget this. Today, this little pup, hang on, let me turn this around here. This little puppy is Zephy. She's 19 months old today. My little girl, 19 months old today. Yeah? What you think of that? She's like, yeah, whatever. It's just too damn hot to worry about anything. But, we spent a couple of hours outside. I had her on the long lead so she could wander around our side a little bit. I had to figure out how to shorten it and where to tie it up and where to put her water bowl, because she kept knocking her water bowl over with the lead, because she'll go running off in one direction and the water bowl will go flying off in the opposite direction. So we got all that worked out. And then while we're out there, the guy who's in the manufactured home across the road from us came over and introduced himself, left me his business card, realized I don't have a vehicle except for the RV, and so offered if I ever needed to go out anywhere, run to the grocery store or anything like that, or if I needed to ride to the emergency room at 2 o'clock in the morning, just to give him a call. Well, that was so sweet of him. So we sat there and talked for a bit, and really, really sweet guy. His girlfriend lives in one of the manufactured homes just a bit down the street as well. So it was kind of cool. And he's got the module home here, the manufactured home there, and he also has an RV site where he parks his RV, which is currently in the repair shop right now. So, but yeah, he sort of like looks around and goes, "You don't have a vehicle?" And I went, "Nope." I said, "This is it." I said, "This is Sparkles. This is all I've got to get from point A to point B." And he's sort of like, "Well, if you ever need to go anywhere or grab anything," I said, I just order everything. He says, "How do you do your shopping?" I said, "Well, I've been traveling from, as I travel from campground to campground, I would either do it as I left one campground or just before I arrived at the next one." And I said, "I'll go do my shopping between the stops." I said, "But then I was traveling every, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. And so I was able to do the shopping for that time." I said, "But now I'm going to be here for 3 months. So I said, I'll just get it delivered." And he said, "Well, if you ever need to go out and get anything," he said, "just let me know and I'll be happy to take you out there." And I was like, "Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that." So it's kind of cool. And I love campgrounds, because you meet all sorts of people, and people are willing to help others. You don't typically see that out there, but complete strangers will come up to you and offer you assistance if they see you're struggling, or if they see that you're by yourself, they'll come up and offer assistance. And when I was first looking at buying RVs, I was at an RV show, my very first RV show, and I mentioned to one of the salespeople there, I said, "Well, I'd be doing this by myself, but what happens if something goes wrong with the RV?" He said, "Here's the trick." He says, "It doesn't work as well with males, but with females, it will work every time." I'm like, "Okay, what's that?" He says, "Grab a hammer." He says, "Make sure you have a hammer." He says, "Grab a hammer, go stand in front of your engine," wherever the engine, whether it's a gas pusher at the back, the diesel pusher at the back, or the gas at the front. He says, "Open up the area where the engine is, and stand there with a hammer in your hand like you're looking for something to bash." He said, in less than 5 minutes, you'll have about 5 guys around you offering their help. And I'm like, "I can work with that. I will definitely." I said, "Well, I can do some things." I said, "But other things," he said, "if you ever need help," he says, "just stand in front of your RV with a hammer in your hand, look like you're about to whack something, and somebody will come over and ask if you need help." He said, "It works every time." He says, "Males not so much, but females definitely." But he said, "Males will come over to say, 'Hey, what's the problem? What you doing there?' And they won't offer help. They'll just come to see what you're doing. But with females, they'll come over and see if they can offer their assistance and stuff." And I thought, I like this. I'm old school. I don't mind guys stepping up to help a female in distress. I still can't get over the fact that there was one time I was out driving animal, and I went into Sprouts and came out, and I had a flat tire. It was my driver's front tire was flat, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And so I called Brad to tell him that I was getting ready to head home, but I couldn't come home because the tire was flat, and he couldn't come and help me because his car was in the service, it was getting fixed. He said, "Well, just call AAA or something." I says, "Nah," I said, "I got this." And it took me 17 minutes from when I called him to say I had the flat tire to when I called him again to say that it was all done and changed and everything else. Fortunately, the parking space next to Animal was empty, so I just put my stuff there. But the number of cars that tried to park in that empty space while I was changing the tire and backed out and drove off, and the number of guys that just walked past, looked to see what I was doing, and carried on walking. Not one person stopped and offered help. I was like, what the hell has happened to society these days? You know, where you won't stop and offer somebody assistance when you see them struggling with something, or, you know, even if it was just to say, hey, can I help you? You know, are you okay there? May I help you? Just simply asking that would have been fine. And I would have said, no, I've got this, but thank you very much. You know, I would have appreciated the fact that they had stopped and asked if they could be helped, you know, but it was out the door. And I was just like, wow, that was a real wake-up call. But here in a campground, I mean, there was one campground where we were up on a plateau, and you couldn't back up too far or you'd end up going down the steep bank of the thing. And we were on a really weird site, and they had to park on a certain angle so the guy next to me could get his truck out to go because of the shape of the site and the way. And if I parked normally, like you do in a RV park, I would have been blocking his truck. So I kind of drove forward, backed up a bit, and I got out to go and check to see if everything was clear and okay. And I came back around, and then one of the guys turned and said, "Oh, I noticed you backed up a couple of times. Says, can I be of assistance and stand behind and make sure you don't go over the edge or anything?" I says, "No." I think I got. I said, "I just had to angle properly so that this guy could still get his truck out." And he looks around and goes, "Yeah." He says, "That's a really weird site, that one." He says, "As long as you're okay." And I'm like, "Yep, I'm fine." And so I got put the jacks down, got the slides out. And I went around to hook up the power, and there's this dead mouse sitting right by the utility thing. And I'm like, oh crap, where's that guy? And I go running to that, couldn't see him anywhere. It's like, damn it. So I had to deal with a dead. I am terrible with dead animals, with small dead animals. We used to have a cat when we were growing up who was a great hunter. She was an awesome hunter. And she would make this really weird meow sound. And whenever we heard it, my mum was like, quick, shut the doors, Fluff's got something. And so we would run around and make sure all the doors coming into the house were closed so that Fluffy couldn't bring in her bird, her mouse, her rat, whatever it is she had caught. She used to catch rabbits that were bigger than her. She was an awesome, awesome hunter. And there was one time a mouse actually got into the house, a live mouse, and they got it trapped in my brother's closet. And so they put the cat in the closet with the mouse. The cat very quickly caught the mouse, but then of course she knew she wasn't allowed to bring dead animals in the house. And here she is with this dead animal in her mouth. And my dad and brother had got her out going, good girl, Fluffy, don't drop it. Good girl. We'll just, and shepherding her out to the door. While I'm sitting on the bed in the other room, like watching this procession and making sure. But now I had to deal with this dead mouse, and I was like, ugh. So I went and got one of my, we have these leveling block things, and I went and got one of those and kind of used it to flip it. And I remember flicking this thing to try and push it over the cliff, and it just rolled over onto its back, and it had no feet. And I was like, oh, I mean, the top part of it looked fine, but when it rolled over, there was no feet. And I was like, oh, yeah. And so I'm kind of like flicking this thing. And then after it finally went down the hill, I go back and I pull out my bottle of disinfectant and just poured it straight over the leveling block that I had used to flip this thing over the edge of the hill. So for a while, there was a smell of pine sol outside of our RV for a couple of days. Not a problem. Those rocks right there were very well sterilized or disinfected anyway. But my leveling block pads got disinfected as well. How the hell did I get on that? Just trying to see if I could figure out why I got onto that. But you know, it's all about so finding people to help. So yeah, having people come and offer to help has just been awesome. So we sat outside for a couple of hours today, came back in because it was starting to get a little hot. Came inside here where it was nice and cool at the time because the RV hadn't started to heat up with the one AC working, and got some more work done, got some more creative ideas written down, some processes written down, some packages put together for different things, and then I was like, I need a nap. And I woke up from my nap and thought, oh, lunchtime. I thought, hang on, I haven't had lunch yet today. What time is it? It was 1:30, and I'm like, okay, I have just had a nap. I've woken up. I haven't missed lunch. It's only 1:30. So it's like, dang. So we had lunch, and then basically we've spent the rest of the afternoon here in the bedroom because it's a lot cooler in here. We've got the AC going. The AC down the center works well. We've got the fan going. Zephy will come up and lay on the bed next to me, or she'll go lay on the floor, wherever she found it cool. I've got bottles of water sitting in the refrigerator. I've got my shake containers that I've filled up with water and stuff and put in the refrigerator to keep it cold because the water coming in from the outside faucet is warm because the sun is on the hose, and we've got it under the RV as much as possible, but there's still that piece that gets heated. So it's like, damn, I know they have heated hoses so that you can use them in winter so they don't freeze. Maybe they need some cooling ones for winter, for summertime. Now there's an idea. Cooling hoses for summertime for RVs, so you don't have hot water going through your pipes. And so I use some of the water too for Zephy's bowl as well. So, but we've had a quiet day and just working on some stuff. We've watched a couple of movies this afternoon. We watched, what did we watch today, Zeph? Oh, we just finished watching Troop Zero. That was awesome. It was set in 1977 in this little town in Georgia somewhere, and this girl wanted to get her voice recorded to be sent out into space because she was all about space and all of that, and her mum had passed away, and she was all about what goes on in space and aliens, other life forms, and all of that sort of thing as well. And she overheard like a Girl Scout troop, what they call birdies, being told about this competition that's going to happen at Jamboree and everything else. So she takes it upon herself to start her own troop, find a troop mother and everything, and they start working towards their competition. Of course, there's all the obstacles and everything that they overcome, and I'm not going to tell you the end of the movie because you've got to go watch it, but it won't finish how you expect it to finish. But it was just a really, really cool story. Bit of a tearjerker as well towards the end. There was a bit of a tearjerker, but it was a beautiful story, very well told about, misfits, kids that other kids think of as misfits, that don't fit in because they're not normal. One girl always wore a patch over her eye. Another one liked to smash things. There was a boy in there who would rather be a girl. And just how accepting the misfits were of each other and their quirks, and how everybody else in town kind of looked down on these kids and because they weren't normal. So it was a really cool story about compassion was in there too, and sometimes I just wanted to smash some of those kids' faces in. I mean, they were just downright mean. So like, dang, that was kind of heart-wrenching, that one. So it's been a pretty good day. We're just cooling off, and we'll go for a walk soon and come back. And excuse me, the air quality around here is bad. So I'm surprised I survived 2 hours outside, but we did it. And we're going to go for a walk soon. Zephy's already done 2 trips to the dog park. Oh, we did another walk to the dog park later on this morning as well. For Zeph, because she just really wanted to get back over. She was trying to get to the dog park on her long lead, but realized it didn't stretch 6 sites. It only stretched to the one next door. She was not a happy camper about that. But so yes, we've done 2 trips to the dog park already today, and we're going to go do a third one. And so it's been a very interesting day, talking with our new neighbor, getting to know about the quirks of the park and stuff like that. And so I asked him about manufactured homes, because kind of been interested in those, and he said he's bought the one there, and he said there's a lot of them for sale right now because a lot of the Canadians can't come down into the US, so a lot of the snowbird Canadians can't come in, so they're because of the COVID stuff, so they're not going to be able to travel south this winter, so they're looking to sell. So he said, so the market's really good right now for manufactured homes and stuff. And so I said, but don't you pay rental on the site? He says, oh yeah. He said, but it's just like renting an apartment. You've got the rental thing, and it goes up 1% to 2% a year and that sort of stuff. So, which kind of chimed in with what friends that I have in real estate have told me as well. So I was kind of like, well, that's interesting. So you never know what's going to happen. And then he has the site next door to him as well, that he parks his RV on when his RV's not in the shop. So he uses the manufactured home as his home base, and then during the summertime he will go off tripping around and then come back here for the winter. So it's interesting people that you meet along the way. We met another lady who lives opposite the dog park and has a little dog called Heidi, and Zephy and Heidi got on great through the fence, but she was on her way to visit her boyfriend who lived in an RV on the other side of the dog park. And I'll tell you, there's all these different people around here. It's interesting people. And so they didn't have time to play at the time because she had to go she was in the middle of between doing stuff, so she had to go over to see him, pick up some stuff from him, and then go back to her place and finish doing what she was doing there. So we didn't have playtime for Zephy. So we'll get some playtime in for Zeph at some point. But yeah, there's still the other big dog park, but we may do that like first thing in the morning tomorrow, depending what time she wakes me up, because that feather that she ate last night has been playing havoc with her digestive system today. Yes. So that's why we've been out wandering around so much. Where'd you go this time? Yeah. So filled up a con, but she's still eating normal, drinking normal. But yeah, the feather that she ate last night at the dog park is playing havoc with the digestive system today. So haven't seen any signs of the feather being put out, but I don't know how much longer it will upset her system, but we shall see. She might get some pumpkin for dinner tonight, because that's good for that sort of stuff, especially for dogs. I don't have any rice, so she might get some pumpkin tonight. But anyway, that's it from us here. It's been an interesting day. Oh, how did you get on with today's challenge of turning I can't into I can, saying how can I instead of saying I can't do something? Because remember, can't is a 4-letter word. Although if you were in one of my gym classes back when I was coaching gymnastics all those years ago, you would have been told that can't is not a word. It is not in the dictionary. And if you can find it in the dictionary and bring it me and show me the dictionary where the word is, then I will believe you. But until then, the word does not exist. So figure out how to do things. So how did you get on with saying how can I instead of I can't? How did you get on with that today? And as we read in the book about the can man, the story we read this morning, we learned that that can't is a 4-letter word, and it's the worst one out there because it stops you from chasing your dreams, chasing your goals, and saying no to opportunities, because you can end up missing a whole lot of opportunities by saying I can't. Instead, turn around and say how can I, because it may not be the way that it's been explained to you, it works that way for your business or your point in life or whatever, but with a couple of tweaks, it just may. You never know. Anyway, that's it from us for Shake It Up Saturday. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow for Serenity Sunday. He konera.